Hi, welcome to video number 2 of the Learn Python Coding the Peeps 191 video series. In this video, I'll go over some of the basic Python functions like print, variables, and strings. If you haven't watched video number 1, which is over here, I recommend you check it out before you start this one. It's on downloading Python. If you already have it downloaded, you can continue watching from here. Before we get started, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Without any further ado, let's get started. Let's get started now. First of all, you need to open your Python shell. These 3 greater than signs are called the command prompt. It means that Python is ready for you to enter a command into Python. First, let's type the following thing: print hello world. After you do that, you can also type print hello world this way. As you can see, the words hello world have been printed out. These use one mark, but then when these use quotation marks, but they're still the same. Now, why did it print this inside? First, we need this thing in green, it's a string. String in Python is basically any letters or numbers, except that you can't add or divide and stuff like that to the numbers. Since it's a string, it's going to print it out onto the shell. The print function basically just puts whatever you put inside the 2 brackets onto your screen. The 2 brackets are what are called the parameter. Actually, it's the things that are inside that are called the parameter. The print function is fairly important in my opinion. You need to use it in some games. For example, if a player gets somewhat number of points, it might say you got 3 points or something like that. You would probably use the print function to print those letters out. Anyways, so the print function, as I already mentioned, is a function in Python. Almost everybody starts with this hello world thing. You can decide if you want to use double quotation marks or just the single. If you use some might have their own advantages. We will learn about the advantages in a future video. So back to the main content. So now we can talk about variables. Variables, they're kind of like the math concept, except they can be like strings, or they can also be numbers, like in this case. So variables, except you need to write the name of the variable before the actual value, like in this case. To find out what the value of a variable is, you type print, but instead of this, because you don't want a string, you want a variable. So what you would do, so you would type print, and then you would type the bracket, and then type the variable name. So in this case, the variable's name is variables, and then add a bracket, and then you enter, and you see how the value of it's printed out. So variables can be anything from numbers to strings to other more complicated things like lists and maps, and even sometimes games. We will learn about them in more other videos, but let's get back to the main content. Strings, like I said, are just like words or numbers, but you can't divide or add and stuff like that to the numbers. Normally for variables, you would probably use it for something better. Let's say you have a score in a game and it's 10. Oops, I'm just gonna... It's my bad about my typing. So the score is 10, and maybe you would want to find out how much your score is. So you would type print score, and you get 10. But then in more complicated games, you would probably use some other way. Like maybe you have a canvas and the word 10 or maybe the number 10 gets like sort of printed actually in the canvas. Also, in probably our 4th video, we're going to talk about placeholders. So placeholders, they basically hold the place for either a word, a group of words, numbers, pretty much anything. Placeholders, I'll give you a little preview. Placeholders use the percent and an S. Also, if you're interested, you can try to figure out why does this type look. So I'm just gonna type something. So you see how this does this. You can kind of think about how this happened, and maybe you could use it, and you could go ahead in this video series. Also, for variables, so variables, as I already mentioned, are anything from strings to numbers and to anything else. So anything. Also, for Python, so anything that comes out from your function will be in blue, like this. Most functions will also be in blue. Strings are in green, and then some things, for example, like and, if, else, all these things, else, if, all these things. So if it's like a color, you would probably know that it's either a string, it's a function, or it's like what happened, like in this, or like 10, like these blue things. And the reason why there aren't the 3 greater than signs like there are in the other things is that this isn't actually like a sort of like a command. It's actually just what happened. So Python won't put the 3 greater than signs. In the next video, we will talk about math, like the basic math operations, so adding, subtracting, multiplying, and division in Python. Also, we will take a little bit more look at placeholders before fully understanding them in video 2. Before we leave, don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell so you don't miss any of our amazing videos. Bye!